Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome aboard. Today we're tackling one of the questions I get asked the most. Why are MSC Cruises so cheap? You've probably seen those wild ads, 7-night Caribbean cruises for $300, drinks included, Wi-Fi thrown in, taxes and fees baked in, and thought, okay, what's the catch? I've wondered the same thing. I started digging, and I've even sailed with MSC a few times just to see for myself. And honestly, my first reaction when I compare their prices to other cruise lines is always the same. You think there must be hidden fees, surprise charges, the charges, or some sneaky switch once you're on board. You hesitate because you're not sure what you're going to get. But here's the truth. MSC Cruises are often better than many competitors, and that's completely intentional. They've built their business model around giving you more for less, and the quality you get for the price you pay is genuinely impressive. So how do they pull it off? It's not magic, it's strategy. From how they design their ships to how they structure their fares, MSC has figured out how to cut costs without cutting corners. Let's break down exactly how they do it. When I compare cruise prices, I don't just glance at the total. I look at the cost per day, where the ship is going, and what that itinerary is worth. Because let's be real, most people pick a cruise as much for the destinations as they do for the ship or cruise line. Now, here's a real example. A 7-night Western Caribbean cruise on a newer ship like MSC Seaside can be as low as $600. And yes, that includes a stop at their gorgeous private island, Ocean Cay. Stack that against the same itinerary on Carnival Magic for about $850, or Royal Caribbean's Brilliance of the Seas at $1,100+, and the difference jumps out. And here's where it really adds up. Most folks don't sail solo. They cruise with family or friends. So if a family of 4 saves $100 per person with MSC, that's $400 still in their pocket. And in plenty of cases, the gap isn't just $100, it's 2 or 3 times that. When you add it all up, MSC isn't just competitive. They're crushing it on price. Here's how MSC keeps prices so low. Number 1, staffing. Labor is the single biggest cost for cruise lines, and MSC keeps that expense lower by running with a higher passenger to crew ratio than many competitors. For example, MSC Seascape averages about 2.75 guests per crew member, while Norwegian Prima is closer to 2 to 1. Translation, you'll still get good service, but maybe not the ultra personal attention you'd find on Royal Caribbean or Celebrity. MSC, like most cruise lines, recruits the majority of their crew from developing countries. While the pay is considered a living wage back home, it's far less than what would be paid in a developed nation. Crew members also work extremely long contracts, often months at a time, without a single day off, far from family and friends. You'll notice that outside of the entertainment team, you rarely see staff from the US or other high-income countries. This staffing approach is a big reason MSC can keep fares down. And here's the part a lot of people don't realize. Your cruise fare alone doesn't cover the full cost of running the ship. Cruise lines make up the difference through onboard spending. Think drinks, specialty dining, shops, casinos, and excursions. Number 2, smaller cabins equals more people on board. Another way MSC keeps prices low is by slightly shrinking their standard cabin sizes, which allows them to fit more guests on each ship. MSC's inside cabins average about 151 square feet, while Royal Caribbean's are often 170 square feet or more. Now, if you're the type who only uses your cabin to sleep and shower, it's probably not a big deal. But if you like extra space to stretch out, it's worth knowing. The cabin you're seeing in this video is actually a suite, so it's much larger than most onboard, but even in the smaller rooms, MSC does a great job making the space work. I really like the design, the layout, and the color scheme. It feels sleek, modern, and efficient. That missing 20 square feet might not sound like much, but when you multiply it by hundreds of cabins, it frees up a ton of room, space that MSC can use to add more staterooms or expand shared areas like restaurants, bars, or entertainment venues. Number 3, tiered experiences. One of the smartest things MSC does, and one of the biggest reasons they can advertise such low prices, is how they sell their cruises. They don't just sell you a cabin, they sell you an experience. Here's what I mean. MSC has 4 main experience levels, and each one changes how you cruise. Bella, this is your no frills, bare bones option. You get your cabin, all your meals in the main dining room and buffet, and access to shows. That's it. No extras, no bells and whistles, but it gets you on the ship for the lowest possible price. Fantastica, a step up. You'll get a better cabin location, more flexibility with dining times, and even some room service. It's still affordable, but you get a few creature comforts. Aria, now we're getting fancy. Aria comes with spa access, a drink package, priority boarding, and usually a nicer cabin location. It's designed for guests who want to feel a bit more pampered without going all out. Yacht Club, this is MSC's crown jewel. Think of it as a ship within a ship. You have your own private restaurant, private sun deck, exclusive lounge, and butler service. It's basically a luxury cruise experience tucked inside a bigger ship. The genius here is flexibility. You can book the cheapest Bella experience and cruise for hundreds less than on other lines. Or you can drop the big bucks for Yacht Club and have an ultra luxury trip. And it's not just cabins. They use this same a la carte model all over the ship. Drinks, specialty dining, spa treatments, excursions. You only pay for what you want. It also ties back to what I mentioned in point number 2 about cabin sizes and layouts. MSC can fill their ships with a mix of budget conscious travelers and high spending guests because they've built an environment where both can coexist. Some passengers are perfectly happy with the basics, while others are willing to pay for the top tier perks, and MSC wins either way. So when you see those rock bottom prices in ads, remember they're showing you the entry level Bella rate. But once you're on board, the opportunities to upgrade your experience are everywhere. It means you get to choose exactly how much or how little you want to spend without being forced into a package you don't need. Number 4, everything's an upsell. One of the biggest things you'll notice about MSC is how many extras come with a price tag. The base fare is low to get you on board, but once you're there, everything feels like an add-on. Want Wi-Fi? It's not just Wi-Fi. MSC offers 8 different Wi-Fi packages ranging from basic texting plans to full internet access, each with its own price. Drinks, you've got 5 different drink packages to choose from depending on what you want to sip and how much you plan to drink. And it's not just the basics. If you want to hit the bowling alley, play VR games, or even play a game of pool, those come with extra fees too. For example, the Formula 1 race car simulator costs about $12 per person. Some of these activities are free or included on other cruise lines, but MSC's model is more a la carte. You pick and pay for exactly what you want. It can feel like a lot to keep track of, but if you plan ahead and bundle your extras smartly, you can save some cash while still enjoying the fun stuff. The upsell heavy approach is part of how MSC keeps its advertised prices low, but it also gives you flexibility to tailor your trip to your own budget and interests. Just be ready to decide what's important to you once you're on board. Number 5, they keep older ships in rotation. MSC has been rolling out some seriously sleek modern ships lately. Think World Europa and Seascape, packed with all the latest bells and whistles, but at the same time, they still keep some of their older vessels in service, like the MSC Harmonia, which first launched back in the early 2000s. These older ships cost less to operate, which helps MSC keep prices down across the board. But here's the trade-off. Don't expect to find the latest water slides, robot bartenders, or roller coasters on those older ships. The entertainment and dining options tend to be more basic, and honestly, some of those older ships have contributed to MSC's reputation for less impressive food and entertainment experiences. Here's my honest advice. If you're serious about having a great time on board, it's worth splurging a little to sail on one of MSC's newer, more modern ships. The difference is noticeable, from the design and amenities to the quality of the food and shows. So while the older ships help keep prices low, they might not deliver the experience you're really after. Number 6, one of the biggest reasons MSC can keep prices low is because they're not just trying to squeeze every last dollar out of a single cruise. Instead, they're playing a long game, focusing on building market share and loyalty over time. They actually own their own shipyards and terminals, which is huge. This means they can build new ships faster and more affordably than cruise lines that have to outsource those jobs. That kind of vertical integration is incredibly efficient and saves a ton of money in the long run. Plus, MSC isn't a publicly traded company, so they're not under pressure to hit quarterly earnings targets like some of their competitors. Instead, they can take a slower, steadier approach, investing in their fleet, their service, and their brand with an eye on long-term growth. Out of all the reasons we've talked about, this strategy might be the single biggest factor behind their ability to offer such competitive prices. It's not about short-term profits. It's about becoming a cruise line people trust and keep coming back to for years to come.